Hello, everyone. It's Ivan here, Bortom Bruset, as it's called in Swedish, but I'm talking in English today because I'm having a guest, a dear friend from Holland, Netherlands, my dear friend and colleague, Nicky Peeters. Welcome, Nicky.
Thank you, Ivan. It's really nice to be a part of your podcast. And hi, everybody. I don't know how to say it in Swedish, unfortunately.
Bortom Bruset. When I started this, the name Bortom Bruset came almost immediately. And then I realized I've been listening to a podcast by my dear friend. My dear friend.
My dear friend, what's your name?
Names, you know. And he has a podcast called Beyond the Noise. Or no, Under the Noise. With Morgan.
Oh, cool.
And yeah. Under the Noise and Bortom Bruset is almost a complete translation. Not quite, but almost.
Okay.
But that I didn't realize until 10 sessions into this. I've done 34 or so now. So this is 35. I don't know. Something like that.
Very cool.
I have to tell everyone listening to us, watching us, this is a spontaneous recording. Yay! Because Nicky wrote something very special today in the chat we had. I have to read it. And that's going to be the topic of podcast today. She wrote about the source of our experience. That each experience is a psychological one, and that if you see its source, it's the raw power of thought that will reveal a different mind. Wow, that's so profound. But before we go into the topic, please tell us, Nicky, how did you come to the principles?
It's always a nice question. I think they came to me, but I was working in psychiatry maybe 6-7 years ago.
Okay.
I don't know exactly, but and I've always been curious. Even as a kid, I was always curious. I never really took life as it seemed. I was always curious, and I liked magic and nature, and so I was definitely always open-minded about things. But then when I was working in psychiatry, as that being my nature, I was also very curious about, is that really true that, the human mind is set in stone, which was kind of what we were working with in psychiatry.
Yeah. Yes.
So, so I got really curious about happiness and about the opposite, the people that I was working with, which were, they were the opposite from happy. So I just got really curious about that. And I got really curious about, what we were working with, which was people can get damaged. And when they are damaged, that's just how it is. And I didn't really believe that.
Okay.
Yeah, just instinctively, I didn't believe it, because of the curious nature that I have. And then I just had a lot of things coming on my path because of that curiosity. But there was always something that was lacking.
Oh yeah.
So meditation came on my path, and then some gurus, and then some martial art, and there was
Martial
always,
art.
yeah.
Okay. All right.
Yeah.
I'm curious about how that connects with the principles, so to speak. But go on.
Yeah.
Take that
Well,
later.
actually, I did have insights into the principles then, before meeting the principles, but there was always like a but. I always felt like there was like something I didn't agree with. For example, with the meditation, you had to sit on your bum for many hours, and then there was just too much rigidity,
Yes.
So, but then when I came back from like this long journey, kind of searching for something that was useful for my clients, I came across the principles. Somebody mentioned it to me.
Yes.
And at first I went online and I looked at Sid's videos, and I thought,
Okay.
why is this guy not just coming to the point, Like, just say what you want to say.
Oh yeah.
So I felt like it was a very mysterious language he was using, and I didn't really understand it at all.
Okay.
But then the third time somebody mentioned it to me, which was completely random, different person, I felt like, okay, I will check it out. And that's when I went to London, and here I saw many psychologists and also psychiatrists that were working with something that I didn't understand, but I could feel it.
Okay.
And that was the first time that I came across something that I didn't have a but. I felt like whatever they were telling me, even though I didn't really understand it, whatever they were saying, it was the complete truth.
Yes.
There was nothing lacking.
Yeah.
So that's it. That's
wow, beautiful. Oh.
And I myself went back to Amsterdam feeling very different, feeling like I was floating,
Mm.
So it also gave me, well, it took away something.
Yeah. For me, the first big insight was beauty. And the first beauty was the beauty in nature. And when that came, next beauty was the beauty in the human beings around me.
Mm.
So my first big insight was beauty.
Mm. I love that.
Yes. Yeah. Well then, on to the... No. I want to hear what you're saying about martial art and principles. Because I've been doing martial arts too for 5 years.
Yeah.
And, well, tell me your thoughts about martial arts and the principles.
Well, I studied something called a Kalaripayattu. It's a bit of a difficult name, but it's from the south of India. And it was quite a strenuous teaching. Like it was quite tough, and it had a lot of movements in it that's very similar to yoga. So a lot of like back bending and very low to the ground, and they had this whole like spiritual belief around it that those movements, for whatever reason, would do something to your state of consciousness. And I just did it purely intuitive. I didn't think about why. I just did it because I I felt I wanted to do it. And I do remember that while I was practicing one day, normally my teacher would have been there, and this person wasn't there. And I was practicing by myself. And I remember that I wasn't enjoying the practice, like it felt very hard in that moment. And I sat down just to think like, okay, am I going to quit or am I going to continue? And then I had the first insight into the power of thought, where I saw that it was just my personal thoughts about the practice, which normally were absent when, when the teacher was there. I wouldn't have those because he was like cheering me on and things like that.
Pushing you on.
That's the first time where I saw like all those personal thoughts about, oh, it's too hard, it's too long, or whatever. They all left me, and it was like a new practice emerged.
Oh.
So all of a sudden, I felt like I could motivate myself 100%.
Yeah.
So, yeah.
Oh, yeah. Profound. Beautiful.
Yeah.
Insights. And that is kind of the topic today.
Mm-hmm.
The insights about the source of our experience.
Yeah.
What came up to me when you wrote this was a book, one of Sydney Banks' books, where he wrote exactly about that. We are having psychological experience, and when we understand that, our life is changed.
Mm. Yeah.
To me, it's proof. No, proof is not the right word. It's the essence of who we are. Psychological energy creating our experience from moment to moment. And seeing that makes life simple.
Mm.
Because it's the truth in every aspect of life. That's why I'm shivering. What are your thoughts?
Well, yeah, I think that's beautifully said. Like every aspect, like you said. And I think that the little example with the martial art practice is just one, one aspect of life, right?
Yes.
One moment it seems like you have a very hard practice, and then the next moment you see that it's made of thoughts. You're living in a psychological experience, and like you say, that's always going on.
Yes.
In every aspect, when we're having sex, when we're having practice, when we're on our bicycle to work, if you're from Holland.
Running cross country.
Yeah. That's what Sid Banks brought. And I think what I'm seeing lately more is that there's nothing outside of that for us. Like, that's it.
That's it.
That's it. Experience-wise.
Yeah. Oh, yes.
And that's huge, because it means that you're always looking at a thought creation.
Mm-hmm. Yes, and in that we have those two thought, as we are talking about it, the formless power of thought.
Mm.
And then we have the experience, which is the form of
Mm.
thought. And they are one. They are from the same source.
Mm.
To me. And it makes life simple. Seeing that excludes any internal as well as external conflict.
Yeah.
There is no.
Yeah, it's cosmic humor also in a way, like,
Yes.
I think,
Yes.
as we both
Yes.
know, like, even when you see this, so often we don't, right? And then we argue with whatever
Yeah.
whatever we're looking at. But when you see it, you can't help but laugh, because whatever it was that you're interacting with, it's a creation from inside out.
Yes.
Say.
Oh. Yeah.
And
I'm starting crying here.
that makes it, for me, that makes this understanding, like we said in the beginning, like magical. Like it puts life back into the magic that it really is, and which I always kind of thought it was.
Yes. Oh.
But I didn't know that it was a dream.
Mm. Have we talked about Don Miguel Ruiz?
About who?
Don Miguel Ruiz.
Remind me.
He's written a trilogy, and the first one is the 4 agreements to a better world, to a better life.
Mm-hmm.
And in that first book, he is a shaman from Aztec, South American currency. And he talks about dream. We are dreaming. We are artists of our own world. We are creating our experience as artists.
Mm-hmm.
And that experience is a dream. And we are dreaming with our eyes open, and we are dreaming when we are sleeping.
Mm-hmm.
We are dreaming 24/7.
Yeah.
That was the first book I read back in 2006, before I knew anything about the principles, but it pointed me in this direction. So I have much to say thank you to Don Miguel.
Interesting. It beats you want to analyze your dreams, if you know that.
Yeah. Well, my friend, I'm trying to hold this podcast to 20-25 minutes.
All right. Okay.
And I think we are up at 25 soon now. So
perfect.
Great. Thank you for joining me for this session.
Yeah, thank you so much. I love the topic and where it went.
Yeah. I'm sure we're going to talk more.
Yes.
So, my friends, we're recording. There we are. Bye-bye. see you somewhere out there. Take care. Love you.